You have the time of your life every single night. The confetti's raining down. You put your hands to the sky, center of the crowd. You're the talk of the town. And I tell myself I don't want that. What glitters isn't gold. I tell myself I don't need it, 'cause I'm fine on my own. But I hate being on the outside looking through a window. I say I don't want it.
Hey you guys, once again, thank you for being here. Thank you for clicking on my channel. Thank you for being such a loyal subscriber to Yolanda's Journaling. Today we're not going to the bookstore, but I would like to show you guys some of the books that I have read and recommend them to my book lovers. So I have a stack of books here that I have read and that I have really enjoyed, and I would like to share them with you. So again, I really appreciate all my subscribers, and if you click that notification bell down at the bottom that has my picture on it, YouTube will let you know that Yolanda's Journaling is actually on YouTube and what day that I actually have uploaded a video. I try to upload a video twice a week, so you can look forward to seeing this face twice a week talking about books, mostly talking about books. Y'all, I am such a huge book lover. I love romance books. I love thriller books. I have gotten into fantasy books when I started reading The Fourth Wing. But my main genre is romance, thrillers. I just love those books, and they are making the covers of the books look so good now. It's like when you do go into the bookstore and you look at the cover of the book, is like, oh man, I gotta read the back of this book and see if this would be a book that I would be interested in. You know, like they're making the covers of these books so darn stinking cute, to the point of like, you know, you just gotta get a book. You just gotta get that book. But anyway, so I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books that I would like to talk to you guys about and recommend them for you guys to read if you not have already read them. And if you have already read them, you can just leave down in the comments your rating on the book or what you thought about the book, or you can also give me some book recommendations down in the comments of books that you feel like that I should read that are good books. I have plenty of books around me, y'all. If y'all can see my bookshelf back there, then I have books like everywhere around this house. So I might even have it on my actual shelf, so, or book area. So yeah, so let's just have a conversation about books. So the first book that I would like to talk about is a book that I just got finished reading last night, y'all. And I believe if I did not have to work my 6-day stretch on my job, I believe I would have been finished this book, because that is just how good this book was to me. And it is called The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Y'all, I stinking love this book. Nina and Millie and Andy, in the very beginning, y'all, I felt like it was Nina that was like just a crazy person, and Andy was just dealing with what Nina was putting out. But then when I got to the part of the book that really told the story, and it came to the point where Andy was like the crazy guy, I was like, oh my goodness. So I really don't want to spoil it for anybody who has not read the book. So what I'll do, I'll just read the back of the book for you guys. It says, every day I clean the Winchester's beautiful house top to bottom. I pick up their daughter from school. I cook a delicious meal for the whole family before heading up to eat alone in my tiny room on the top floor. I try to ignore how Nina makes a mess just to watch me clean it up. How she tells stories, strange lies about her own daughter. and how her husband Andrew seems more broken every day. But as I look into Andrew's handsome brown eyes, so full of pain, it hurts. It's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live Nina's life. The walk-in closet, the fancy car, the perfect husband. I tried one on one of Nina's pristine white dresses once just to see what it's like. But she soon finds out, and by the time I realize my attic bedroom door only locks from the outside, it's far too late. But I reassure myself, the Winchesters don't know who I really am. They don't know what I'm capable of. And y'all, after I have read this book and actually got, you know, down to the very back of this book, they did not know who this girl was. Andy actually met his match. So I would really recommend this book to you guys. I would give this book a 4 stars. I really love the suspense that was in this book. Really good book to read. The next book that I enjoyed reading was a fairly long book, so I did have to get it on Audible to read along, you know, to have to read along with, because this book actually had like 400 and something pages, but I just really needed the Audible to read along with this book, and it's called The Icebreaker. YA romance. I enjoyed reading this book. I enjoyed the romance between Nathan and Anastasia. They both enjoyed sports. She enjoyed skating and he enjoyed hockey. And they thought that they really actually hated each other, but it was a certain mishap, and they actually had to share the skating rink together, and they actually became really good friends and became lovers, and then long-term relationship from there. Both of them kind of like had things in their families that they really wasn't proud of, as far as like mom and dads and things like that. So I feel like that really also kind of got them closer together. But I'm gonna read a little bit of the back of the book for you guys, because like I said, I don't like to spoil it for whoever has not read the book. But it says, Anastasia Allen has worked her entire life for a shot at the Team USA. It looks like everything is going according to plan when she gets a full scholarship to the University of California, Maple Hills, and lands a place on their competitive figure skating team. Nothing will stand in her way, not even the captain of the hockey team, Nate Hawkins. Nate's focus on team captain is on keeping his team on the ice, which is tricky when the facility mishap means they are forced to share the rink with a figure skating team, including Anastasia, who clearly can't stand him. But when Anastasia's skating partner faces an uncertain future, she may have to look to Nate to take her shot. Sparks fly, but Anastasia isn't worried, because she could never like a hockey player, right? So very nice, fluffy, romantic read. Again, I would give Icebreaker, what would I give it? I would give it a 3 stars. Like I said, I really enjoyed this book. I really like a fluffy, romantic book, and this is actually what it was. This book was very explicit. The sexual parts of this book was very vulgar. And if you like that kind of stuff, then I would recommend you get this book. It is written by Hannah Grace. Like I said, I really did enjoy this book though, but just look forward to very explicit, very adult. This is a very young adult, fluffy romantic read. So Icebreaker, I would give it a 3 star. Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlin. I really enjoyed this book, y'all. This was a 5-star read for me. And the reason why I say this was a 5-star read for me, this was a romance, to my opinion. The characters in this book was so awesome. I mean, they were from past to future lovers. Things happened in college, and it led to them breaking it off. And then for a long time they did not see or speak to each other, not knowing that the female, she actually got pregnant with the guy's child. And so at the end, you know, they actually spark things back up. The guy actually gets to know his child, and the romance just starts all over again. And I really just loved the scenes in this book. I love the romance in this book. I just love the first love connection, the last love connection, the second chance of love in this book. This is just a really good book. It says, to the green-eyed love bird. And this is like, the back of this book is basically like a letter that was written. And it's been a minute since I read this book, so I think it was the letter that was written to was it him? Well, let's see, let me read it to you. It says, to the green-eyed lovebird. I think it was, I'm not sure, hold on. It says, we met 15 years ago, almost no, I think it was written to her. We met 15 years ago, almost to the day, when I moved my stuff into NYU dorm room next to yours at senior house. You called us fast friends. I like to think it was more. We lived on nothing but the excitement of finding ourselves through music. You were obsessed with Jeff Buckley, photographer. I can't stop taking pictures of you hanging out in the Washington Square and all the weird things we did to make money. I learned more about myself that year than any other. Yet somehow it all fell apart. We lost touch the summer after graduation when I moved to South America to work for National Geographic. When I came back, you were gone. A part of me still wonders if I pushed you too hard after the wedding. And I think this is a letter to her, y'all, because the guy, he was the one that went off to South America for a photo opportunity. I didn't see you again until a month ago. It was on a Wednesday. You were rocking back on your heels, balancing on that thick yellow line that runs along the subway platform, waiting for the F train. I didn't know it was you until it was too late, and then we were gone. You were gone. Again, you said my name. I saw it on your lips. I tried to will the train to stop just so I could say hello. After seeing you, all of the youth feelings and memories came flooding back to me, and now I spent the better part of the month wondering where your life is like. What your life is like. I might be totally out of my mind, but would you like to get a drink with me and catch up on the last decade of and a half M? So I think that was the letter to Grace. Is it Grace? So what happened? You called me. Trying to look back and see what was the name. It was Matt and Grace. That was the name of the characters that was in this book. And the love between them from beginning to end just was so amazing. So again, I would give this a 4-star. I really enjoyed this book. So nice read, pick up before we were strangers. 5-star read, The Perfect Marriage. Y'all, this is one book that I'm not a fast reader. Let me put it that way. I'm not a fast reader at all. But this book, The Perfect Marriage, I finished this book in less than a week. I finished this book in less than a week. And me, I'm not a fast reader. But this book was so stinking good that I could not put it down. I could not put it down. It's by Geneva Rose. It's called The Perfect Marriage. Sarah Morgan was a successful lawyer. She was 33 years old. She made partner in a firm. She just had everything going for her life. The only thing that was wrong was that she wasn't satisfying her husband. Her husband felt like she did not have enough time for him. They did not spend enough time together. He was always second to her work, basically. So he started cheating. And he cheated for years. And the whole time, his wife, Sarah, actually knew that Adam was cheating on her. The whole time she knew. Years that she knew. And she, as far as, you know, like for her being a lawyer, she waited to the perfect time to make her move with having the mistress murdered and framing her husband for the murder and actually being his attorney for his murder trial. Now, she had me fooled the whole time in this book. I'm, you know, trying to put the pieces together along with Adam. You know, I'm feeling myself like, no, he did not murder. Excuse me, y'all. Hold on just a second. You know, so I'm putting the pieces together with Adam and everything, and I'm saying too, like, he did not murder this person. Like, somebody else murdered this lady. Like, who in the world murdered this lady so brutally? Like, she was pretty much like brutally murdered. And so I'm not going to tell you the end because I'm not sure if all of you guys have read this book or not, but oh my goodness, this book is a 5-star thriller for me. So I'm gonna read the back of the book for y'all. It says, would you defend your husband if he was accused of killing his mistress? Sarah Morgan is a successful and powerful defense attorney in Washington, D.C. At 33 years old, she is named partner at her firm, and life is going exactly how she planned. The same cannot be said for her husband, Adam. He is a struggling writer who has had little success in his career. He begins to tire of his and Sarah's relationship as she is constantly working. Out in the secluded woods at Adam's and Sarah's second home, Adam engages in a passionate affair with Kelly Summers. Then one morning, everything changes. Adam is arrested for Kelly's murder. She had been found stabbed to death in Adam and Sarah's second home. Sarah soon finds herself playing the defense for her own husband, a man accused of murdering his mistress. But is Adam guilty or is he innocent? The only way y'all gonna find out is the people who has not read this book is if you get it. It's called The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. Y'all, I would suggest y'all get that book. I really would. The next book that I read that I enjoy, I would give it a 3-star, is The Deal. It's the off-campus series by Ellie Kennedy. I really enjoyed this book. This is the first book that I read in the off-campus series. I actually have a couple of more down on the shelf to read. I read this one and I haven't actually been back to the series as of yet. This one is about Hannah and Garrett. One is a Garrett is a hockey player, and Hannah is let me read, y'all. I'm sorry. She's just a person that actually goes to the school and is very, very smart. And Garrett actually needs her help with tutoring in order to pass his classes so that he can continue being on the hockey team. So he does all that he can to try and get her to tutor him so that he can pass the classes. But Hannah, if I'm not mistaken, actually wants to date someone else. But in order to get the person that she actually wants to date, she has to like make a deal with Garrett to tutor him, and like he would kind of like hook them up, I think. It's been a minute since I read this book, so let me just read the back of it for you. It says she's about to make a deal with a college bad boy, and it's going to be oh so good. Hannah Wells has finally found someone who turns her on, but while she might be convinced in every other area of her life, she's carting around a full set of baggage when it comes to sex and seduction. If she wants to get her crush's attention, she'll have to step out of her comfort zone and make him notice her, even if it means tutoring the annoying, childish, cocky captain of the hockey team in exchange for a pretend date. So yeah, so Hannah likes this other guy. So in order to get his attention, she has to fake date. Well, Garrett convinced her to tutor him, fake date him in order to make the other guy jealous. And to my understanding, if I'm remembering correctly, all of it actually falls in, and Garrett and Hannah Wells actually start dating, having sex with each other, and becomes a couple because they actually starts to fall in love with each other. So I feel like this would be a good read. The Deal. I really enjoyed this book. This next book that I'm going to show you guys is 1,000 Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. The love that these characters had in this book, the Poppy and Ryan, R-U-N-E, the love that they had in this book was outstanding. And the reason why I say that, and I would give this book a 3-star. The reason why I say that is because for them to be so young and to carry the love that they had for each other for so long, even after they had been away from each other for 2 years or more, is just out of this world. And toward the end of this book, when Poppy had to leave the earth because of her illness, I really actually wanted to cry. Like, the end of this book is just so sad to me. The love between the two actually made me happy. So this is it. This is a happy and a sad book, but I would really suggest that you guys read this book, because I feel like this is part of a true life story, because I feel like things like that actually does happen. You are childhood sweethearts, and with being childhood sweethearts, sometimes you have to move away from that person. You swear to each other that you will keep in contact with each other. Things happen within those years of being away. Then when you reunite and you find out that the person that you love with all your heart has a terminal illness, and you just feel like you will not be the same until you are in heaven with that person. And then the things that Poppy did to make sure that Ryu, I guess that's how you say his name, lives on and be successful after her death is just unreal. So I'm gonna read the back of the book for you guys. It says, one boy, one girl, a bond that is forged into in an instant and cherished for decades, a bond that neither time nor distance can break, a bond that will last forever, or so they believe. When 17-year-old Real, and I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but I'm really not good with names, returned from his native Norway to the sleepy town of Blossom Grove, Georgia, where he befriended Poppy. As a child, he has just one thing on his mind. Why did the girl who once half of his soul, who promised to wait faithfully for his return, cut him off without a word of explanation. His heart was broken 2 years ago when Poppy fell silent, but when he discovers the truth of her absence, he finds the greatest heartache is yet to come. So again, like I said, this is a really good book. I still rated a 3-star, but I would really suggest that you guys read this book and just be prepared to be very, very happy and be prepared to be very, very sad. The next book that I have, I enjoyed it once I actually got into it. It's called Not So Perfect Stranger by L.S. Stratton. Once I actually got into this book, it started to make more sense to me. Tasha was being abused by her husband. She really wanted a way out. She did not want, and they had a son, she did not want her son to be the way her husband was, because he actually had a girlfriend, and he was actually seeing the way his father was doing his mom. He did not want him to grow up and be exactly like his father, and just be mean to women. So this other lady, her name is Madison. She is not happy in her relationship, her marriage, because her husband cheats, and she just had something going on in her childhood where she was molested by a preacher, and she felt like they were in love, but you know, it didn't happen the way she wanted it to happen with the preacher, so she ended up killing the preacher. And to make a long story short and not tell the whole book, she tried to get Tasha to kill her husband. In return, she kills Tasha's husband, and the woman is just crazy, y'all. Like, this book will keep you on your toes. It will have you confused, and then when you figure it out, you're like, oh my god, you know. And it's a really suspenseful book. So I'm gonna just read the back of the book for you guys, so I won't be actually spoiling it for anybody who has not read the book, because the back of the book is what everybody will read. And it says, Tasha Jenkins has finally found the courage to leave her abusive husband. Taking her teenage son with her, Tasha chased into a hotel that night before their flight out to DC and out of Cardale Jenkins' life. But escaping isn't as easy as Tasha soon finds herself driving back to her home personal hell. As she is leaving, a white woman pounds on her window, begging to be let in. Behind the woman, an angry man is pursued. Tasha makes a split-second decision that will alter the course of her life. She lets her in and takes off. Tasha and Morgan may have different everyday realities, but what they have in common is marriages they need out of. The two women want to help each other. They just have different ideas of what that means, and they are on a collision course that will end in the case files of the DCMPD homicide unit. So very, very good book. But like I said, once you get into it, I feel like you will actually like the book, but it jumps like back and forth to me. So you really have to pay attention to what you're reading and what area of the book that you're in and who the character is and what is going on. But a really good read. I don't know if I said it before, but I think I would give this book a 3-star. This is my pretty much first fantasy book that I ever read, which is The Fourth Wing. This is the special edition. I heard so many people talk about the fourth wing, like the fourth wing, the fourth wing, the fourth wing, the fourth wing. So I decided to pick up The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This one also was one that I had to get on Audible and actually at times read along with the Audible to get finished with this book. This book has like 518 pages with it. Once I actually got into the book, I really enjoyed reading it. Violet and what was his name? Exodon. In the beginning, I did not, especially listening to like Violet's sister and the childhood friend of Violet's, I would never have thought that them two would actually become friends and on top of that lovers. I actually thought Violet was not gonna make it. Like, I thought that she was not gonna make it through the trial, let alone bond with a very powerful dragon. But when she actually made it through, bonded with a very powerful dragon, her and Exton became lovers, became, you know, just the main characters in this book. I really started to enjoy this book. Like I said, this is the very first fantasy book that I have read, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it to the point where I did pick up Iron Flame. Have not started reading that one yet. I will have to read that one with Audible as well, because if I don't, it will take me forever to read books that are more than 400 and something pages. And you know, because when they are that many pages, y'all, the wording are very, very little. So I will actually definitely need help reading those types of books. But I will pick up a fantasy book, I believe, now because of Fourth Wing. And I have started Iron Flame, but I have not gotten far with it. But I do believe I will actually start reading some fantasy books, but my main genre is like the fluffy, happy romance books and thrillers. So those are the books that I have. Those are not all the books that I have read so far, you guys. Those are just some of the books that I wanted to recommend to you guys, to my book lovers. When I looked at my bookshelf, and I was like, well, which one of these books, how many of these books, and which one of these books would I like to talk to them about? And those were the ones that really just popped out at me. So those are the ones that I picked up off of my shelf. I have plenty more down there that I would like to recommend to you guys to see if you guys have read them. Tell you guys about them. Tell you guys how I feel about them. Listen to how y'all feel about them. And I would love to get y'all recommendations on different books that I have not read or seen, because I know that they are plenty more out there. Even though I have tons of books on my shelves, tons of books in my room on my shelves, I still know that there are a ton of more books that I have not seen, that I have not read, that you guys have. And I would really like to know what books that they are. I do follow a lot of you on YouTube, and that is where I get a lot of the books that I have actually read. But I also like to go in the bookstore and just look, and I do find books that I've never seen anybody talk about, and that is also the glory of it, because I've never, you know, like been read the back of the book, just don't know what is going on with the book, but the cover of the book is just shelf kisses. I just love the way that they are making the covers of the books now. But at this moment, of course, it's December, so you know, I'm starting to read my Christmas books, and so I won't be reading what, but I will be reading, you know, in between the Christmas books. I will be reading different other books. Like, I really hear a lot of things about Archer's Voice, and I've had this book for a very, very long time, and I want to start reading it because I've been seeing a lot of shorts about Archer's Voice, especially since they came out with that special edition. So I want to read this one, and if that special edition is still around once I get done reading this book and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna keep this book because I'll read it again, what I like to do is I like to buy the special edition for myself, and then I would put like the one that I've had or whatever into a free little library around some of the cities that I live. So thank you guys for clicking on my channel. Thank you for staying with me and looking at my book recs for my book lovers. Again, if you like the content that I am giving you guys, share, like, subscribe to my channel, and we will see each other twice a week, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.